Hi everyone, welcome to the session on how to transition into data science as part of the International Women's Day event Mysuru 2022. Before we get into the session, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Abinaya Mahendiran. I currently work as a manager for the data science and applied AI team at Next Labs Emphasis. I like to build end-to-end NLP systems and MLOps systems, and I love contributing to open source. I have given out my social media handles. Please feel free to contact me if you have questions related to the presentation or anything in general with respect to ML. And here is the agenda for today's session. We will just look at what a machine learning lifecycle is, what are all the important skills that you need to have if you decide to switch to a data science role, and what kind of roles are available, how do we build those necessary skills, and how to actually have a good resume. So this will be the agenda, and let's dive into the this session. A typical machine learning lifecycle involves requirement gathering, where you basically understand the problem statement. You actually collect the relevant data to solve the problem at hand. You research different methods and you actually pick certain methods and develop models. Once you do, you test the models based on some metric. The metric can be related to the business KPI, or it can be related to accuracy, precision, recall, the typical ML metrics. And you try to evaluate the models and pick the model which is performing the best, and you productionize the model after doing relevant testing, and you deploy it to the end user. Once the model is deployed, you also monitor the model, and if the performance goes down, you again retrain the model with more data, and you make sure that the model is performing to the expected level. So this is what a typical machine learning life cycle comprises of, and different people are involved in the different stages of machine learning life cycle. Before even someone starts building the model, there should be a data engineer where he or she will bring data from different sources to the right format, and once it is available, a data scientist will pick it up, build the models, test whether the model is performing well against a metric, and a machine learning engineer might pick the right model and productionize it and deploy the model at scale. So these are all the people involved. With this idea in mind, let's dive into the specific roles and the necessary skill sets needed for those specific roles. First, let's look at some of the important skills that are common for different kind of roles that are available in data science. First skill that you need to have is programming. So you need to be good at programming in general. So you should be able to code in Python or R. Either you come from a CS background or a non-CS background, you will be able to pick up Python and R easily. The next set of skill that you need is mathematics. You should be good at your high school level mathematics. You should be good at linear algebra, calculus, probability, and statistics. The degree may vary depending on the role that you choose, but in general, you need to understand the mathematics behind all the machine learning algorithms. Next comes the software engineering skills. If you are choosing roles where you actually have to build the entire end-to-end solution, then you may need to have very good software engineering skills. You should be good at data structures, algorithms, and you should be familiar with version control systems like Git. Apart from this, you should also be familiar with basics of machine learning. You should know the theory behind everything. Without understanding what you're doing, of course, you cannot do your job better. So you need to understand the theory behind everything, and you should also have extensive hands-on experience. So this is something that you can cultivate through projects. So this is also an imperative skill if you want to switch into data science. If you are an experienced person and you want to switch to data science role, you will always have domain knowledge, right? So you would have worked on a certain domain and you might know in and out of that domain. So you actually have an edge because you understand the domain well. All you need to do is pick up the other skills and try to find the problem and solve it using the learned method. So domain knowledge is also good to have. If someone doesn't have it, of course they will learn it over time when they start working on certain problems. So that is also very important. And the most important skill is you need to have very good communication, because you should be able to communicate the results to the business stakeholders. And of course it's an imperative to all kind of jobs. So communication is the most important skill. Now let's look into the different kinds of role that are available. The first one is a data engineer role. A data engineer is someone who is responsible for collecting the data from different sources and standardizing it to a uh, single format so that it can be consumed by data scientists and others. So the data engineer should be really good at querying languages like SQL or non-SQL. He or she should know database systems really well. He should also know like orchestration frameworks, tools that are available out there for ETL, and any frameworks that are related to transformation. So the data engineer should be knowing all these things. He or she is expected to be a good programmer, because you will end up writing a lot of pipelines. You will build and maintain such pipelines so that the data will be ingested. So you need to have very good software engineering skills. So if you are a software engineer, maybe you can transition into a data engineer once you start learning the specific frameworks and about the database. You should be able to transition into this role very easily. The next role is that of a data analyst. Data analysts are basically storytellers. So the expectation is that they should be having very good communication skill. They are good at dashboarding and they should know BI tools. They should be able to translate the data into insights, and they should be able to communicate this to the stakeholders. They should possess very good statistics knowledge, because you will be dealing with a lot of data. In order to derive insights, you will definitely need to understand statistics, and you may also need to do certain things through programming. If it is not done through any tools, maybe you need to have a basic understanding of programming. So this is a very suitable role for someone who is just starting out with programming but are good at statistics. If you are in that category, this role will suit you better. Now let's look into the data scientist role. A data scientist is responsible for basically building the models. He or she will understand the business use case, analyze the data at hand, research different methods that are suitable for the given problem, and they build the model and derive the insights. So they should be really good at both the theory and hands-on side of machine learning, because they will be actually building the models. They should also have good mathematical skills, because without that they might not be able to understand what method suits the problem at hand. So it is good to have strong mathematical skills. They should also be good programmers, and to some extent they should also have software engineering skills, because these days a data scientist is expected to even package the model using Docker and keep it ready for production. So it is good to have these skills as well. And they should of course understand the domain in which they are working on, because that will give them a good understanding of what different methods can be applied, what has actually worked and what has not worked in that domain. All that knowledge will come from their domain expertise. Now let's see what a machine learning engineer will do. So a machine learning engineer is someone who basically productionizes the ML models built by the data scientist. So they actually build components and connect the entire infrastructure. They deploy the model at production, and they scale the system. So basically, if you are a very good software engineer and you know CI/CD, it is always good to pick machine learning engineer role, because this will suit you better. So here you need to have a basic understanding of ML, because you are working with an ML system. So it is good to understand the different components and how they interact with each other. You should also learn certain tools and frameworks, because you may be orchestrating pipelines. You might be using, say, certain tools for deployment like Kubernetes, etc. So you need to learn about the available frameworks and tools. You should definitely possess strong programming and software engineering skills, because you are the one actually building the entire product and making it available for the user. You should also be really good at system design, because without that you cannot actually build a product. So this role, like I said, is more suitable for someone who's really good at coding, and you have like very basic understanding of ML. So you can choose this role. Whatever rules we have seen till now is applied research side, and for someone who has a very good academic background in ML, say if they have completed their PhD, they will be looking at roles like research scientist. So a research scientist is someone who tries to basically invent new methods, and they try to expand the theoretical knowledge that is available out there. So they are supposed to have a strong knowledge of machine learning, both theoretical and practical. They should also be good at mathematics, and they should definitely have that research acumen. So this is very specific to someone who has completed their PhD, but whatever roles we have seen before is more suitable for people who are freshers, or who are experienced but would like to transition into data science. So this is kind of not suitable for that. This role is suitable for people who have completed their PhD. Now that we have seen all the roles that are available, how do we make sure we build the necessary skills to get into those roles? So it is basically through doing hands-on projects. So projects are very important. Knowing the theory is one thing, but showing the world that you actually know stuff can be done only through hands-on projects. You can always build projects of your choice. You will be able to find a lot of problem statement out there in the internet, and you can pick whatever problems you like to solve, and you can build an end-to-end project and showcase it on GitHub. The second thing would be to participate in Kaggle competitions. There are very structured Kaggle competitions where you can participate in teams, or you can participate alone. You can learn from others, and you can also showcase your work there. So this is also another good way to build your skill, and at the same time show it to the world. You can always contribute to open source projects. There are a lot of amazing organizations out there which are very contributor friendly. If you reach out for any help, people would be able to even guide you through your open source contribution. So this is another way to learn how to work in a collaborative way, and also to learn about a specific framework or specific library when it comes to machine learning. So this is also another good thing that you can do to build your skill. Of course, there are always certifications. You can do free. You can actually do a lot of free courses that are available. You also have like paid boot camps. If you think that you really need a very custom course, then you may opt for boot camps. Certifications are important, but I would say more than certifications, even there you should concentrate on building something hands-on, because people would value your hands-on work more than the actual certification. So this is also another good way to build your skill and show it to the world. There are a lot of hackathons out there. Even this is another good way to learn things in a short time. build something, and and that can also be an additional point on your resume. Once you learn a lot of concepts and you try to grasp everything, the best way to show the world is to write blogs or articles. This way your understanding will get even better. When you try to teach someone something, of course your understanding of the topic will become better. So this is another good way to actually refine your skill. The next one is to have research publications, but this is very specific for research roles. But in general, if you like to work on, say, some open source projects, and they tend to have a research side of things, then probably you can also publish papers. So this is also another way to build your skill, and it is also imperative for, say, research kind of roles. So these are some of the ways like how you can build your skills for data science roles. Now let's see how to build a good resume for any data science role. Always make sure you customize your resume based on the job description, because you cannot use the same resume for all the jobs, because the job descriptions might change. So make sure you customize it before you apply to a specific job. List your education details in chronologically decreasing order. The latest degree should come first, followed by the older degree. I think this is something that everyone knows. When you are listing down your ML projects, always make sure you highlight your contribution in the project, if it is a team project, because people will be interested to know your part than what the actual project is. While you are doing so, always make sure you add very brief description of the project. Add, say, two-liner about what the project is, what you are trying to solve, what is your actual contribution in the project, and what kind of tools or libraries you have used. Say if it is a Python project and you have used scikit-learn, just mention those two keywords there, along with two-liner explanation of the project and your role. If you have additional publications or white papers, or if you have written blogs, you have published videos related to a specific topic, even that can be added as a separate section on your resume. Always make sure you add what you know in the resume, because people will be questioning you based on what you have written on your resume. So it is good to be thorough with whatever you write. These are all some of the points that you can keep in mind when you are building your resume and before you are applying for a data science role, because these points will make your resume better, and it will help you stand out. So these are some of the tips that I would like to give with respect to resume. This brings me to the end of this session. I hope all of you find this useful. If you have any questions related to the presentation or anything related to ML in general, please feel free to reach out to me in any of the social media handles that I've provided. Thank you, Usha, for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it. Happy Women's Day to all of you. Thank you.